The purpose of this research is not to dispel the myth of the black whore, Black Jezebel, or, as she is also known, the promiscuous black woman with the large butt, large breasts, and the wolfish appetite for sexual pleasure. The purpose of this research is to examine the stereotypes placed upon African American women and to celebrate the revolutionary poets and poems who have taken a stand generationally against the demonization of black female sexuality. Throughout this PowerPoint, we will view from a historical aspect the birth of this demeaning myth that African and African American women are sexual creatures, the present existence of this demonization, and the importance of black poets in revealing the buoyancy of black women. So throughout this show, we will take a look at the popular depiction of African American women, what begin these stereotypes, who is speaking out, and what the numbers actually say. So what does popular culture say about black women? There are three main stereotypes of the black woman that Dr. Marilyn Yarbrough argues have existed throughout history. These stereotypes include the fat black woman who has reached full womanhood and is viewed as the community's mammy. Mammy is naturally a caretaker for her entire community as well as the master's children, and she loves to do so because her love is all-encompassing. Then there's the stereotype of the sapphire. The sapphire is the black woman filled with an overflowing amount of sassiness, bitchiness, stubbornness, hatred for men, and is usually pictured with her hands placed upon her hips, lips pressed together and sticking out, and her head is often twisted in a manner that declares, "I wish a bitch would." Then there's the stereotype of the Black Jezebel. This is the black woman whose physical features have been exaggerated, resulting in a portrayal of her as promiscuous and wild. Although she has never behaved in the manner that would display her promiscuity, her voluptuous hips tell people otherwise. Now, why do these beliefs exist? These stereotypes have their root in negative anti-woman mythology, and society fails to acknowledge or appreciate the diversification of African women. It is easy for us to identify the sexual demonization of the so-called promiscuous black woman, but when we consider the subjugation of the mammy and the sapphire, we are able to identify the ways in which they are being oppressed. This demonization began with the European encounter of Africa. In order for slave traders to convince other Europeans that Africans deserved to be enslaved, it was a necessity to dehumanize them. One of the greatest examples of Europeans' demonization of black female sexuality is Sarki Bartman. Sarki was taken from Africa and placed into a circus made to obey similar commands of circus animals. Following her death, she was not given a proper burial but placed inside of a museum on display, and her body was revealed to the public. It was not until 2002 that her body was sent back to South Africa at the request of Nelson Mandela that she was able to have a proper burial. Situations similar to Sarki Bartman continue to take place throughout history, including on the slave ship and throughout a woman's time on the plantation. The media was not available when oppression began, but it certainly plays a major role today. Between Nicki Minaj's large buttocks, Olivia Pope's dishonesty, Cookie Lyons being a bad bitch, Monique being a bad mother and Precious, the angry, jealous, and aggressive women of Atlanta housewives, and the crazy Ebonic-speaking black woman from the hood who always manages to find her way onto the evening news. There is an overload of stereotypes in television. Essence conducted a survey of 1,200 women and asked them about their opinions of black women on television. Majority of them said black women belong to an overwhelmingly negative stereotype. Of those surveyed, 89% of the respondents saying that they regularly see baby mamas in media, and 87% reported seeing gold digger images, while just 41% reported seeing images of real beauties. As long as there is a thirst for network views, there will not be a pushback from the media to denounce these stereotypes. So how have blacks fought back? Although underestimated on the road to revolution, poets have always taken a stand. Sonia Renee's Thick is but one example of how Black women have risen up and demanded to have their own sexuality back. Lewis Howard Latimer wrote Ebon Venus in the 1890s. This poem acknowledged the European standard of beauty, yet he declared, "My Venus shall be ebony." Similarly, 50 years later, poets of the Negritude period expressed a sense of reverence for the African woman. Mo poets like Leon Damas exclaimed, "Give me back my black dolls." Through these poems, there is an attached sense of beauty to the Black woman, one that is not shown through the mass media. Nikki Giovanni later wrote a poem entitled Ego Trippin'. This piece was a declaration of Black beauty. Giovanni even referred to herself as God of the Christians, Jesus. One of the most influential poems written by a Black woman about the beauty of a Black woman was written by Dr. Maya Angelou. Her poem, Phenomenal Woman, in her piece, Still I Rise, she challenges the angry Black woman stereotype by asking, "Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room?" In spite of the media's presentation, poetry continues to push back. In order to gather my research, I polled 10 UTSA students about their view of Black women in the media. I watched 1 hour of television, flipping through the channels to see how Black women are displayed, and I scrolled Facebook for 1 hour to see how Black women are displayed in social media. I found that 9 out of 10 people believe that Black women are negatively shown in the media. In 1 hour of television, there were 3 occasions that displayed Black women in a stereotypical role. In 1 hour of social media, there were a combination of 11 posts and videos that displayed Black women in a stereotypical role. There were continuous posts denying Black women the right to look nice and be a bad cook. One post read, "A lot of women can do this," showing a picture of a Black woman taking a selfie in the mirror with her butt at the forefront. "But can y'all do this?" showing a Black woman cooking broccoli. There was also a parody video of a song that said, "I don't want her if her ass don't sit like a horse," because Black women are now horses. The post that stood out to me most was a video showing interracial dating. This video argued that Black women are submissive to white men, but they are angry, rude, and disrespectful to Black men. The most disgusting post showed a picture of an overweight Black woman being hugged by a slim Black man from behind with a caption that read, "And I can't even get a call back." This post implies there is something wrong with the stereotype of the mammy having a maid, and something more wrong with the male for choosing someone who does not fit the standard of beauty. The amount of respectability politics shown in these posts were disgusting. Not only are Black women being demonized by Europeans and the media, Black women also have to protect their right to have a voluptuous body, ability to cook, and possibility of falling in love. A few of the Facebook posts that I saw included, "Sometimes my inner Black woman comes out and says, 'Aw, hell nah,' because all Black women say, 'Aw, hell nah.'" There is another photo of a woman that says, "You can punch, kick, or even shoot me, but don't touch my weave," because her well-being is not more costly than her weave. Here is a video of me performing Sonia Renee's Thick. So I would like to challenge you by asking, how can we begin to change these stereotypes placed on African American women? And what are the long-term implications of these stereotypes? So as you progress throughout your day, I want you to acknowledge in your encounters with Black women that Black girls rock. Hashtag don't demonize me.